Hey guys, Thena here with Songwriting Snippet number 4. Alright, so today I wanted to talk to you about the creative process. So let's talk through it a little bit. Alright, starting with step number 1. Step number 1 is basically where you get your initial idea for your song. So it could be anything from a concept, a theme, maybe a lyric, maybe a melodic line, really anything that gets the song process started. And let's say you got like a story idea. Maybe you could break that down into a beginning, middle, and end and start to see how that could correspond to verses 1, 2, and 3 in a song. Or maybe if you started with a melodic idea, you could try some different things and see how you could slightly tweak or create variations of that melodic idea to maybe create some contrast in different sections of the song, maybe between, say, like a verse and a chorus, a similar but slightly different take on that same melodic idea. So that's where you start to think about those kinds of things. Step 2 in the creative process is a step that's kind of interesting because you're really not doing anything, quote unquote. It's where your subconscious is working, actually, on trying to figure out the problems that are starting to come up in the song that you've started writing. So we always inevitably are going to run into little blocks and things that we just know aren't working or we can't figure out where it needs to go. And so our subconscious is constantly thinking about those things and trying to figure out what the solutions to those problems are. So that's just kind of going on behind the scenes by itself, but that is part of the process. And it's cool to be aware of it because you might want to give yourself some space to actually be able to think about that even while you're doing other things. Find a rhythm that helps your subconscious to be able to work on those things. All right, so step 3 in the process is the step where you actually write the song. And the most important thing I would want to tell you for this step is that you really just need to shut down your inner critic, that voice in your head that wants to tell you that you can't do it, that your ideas are stupid, that you're never going to write a good song, whatever it might be. You need to shut that down because if you listen to that voice, you are never going to get started, okay? So don't worry at this point in the process about a lyric being perfect or a rhyme being perfect. It's really not about that at this point. It's just about getting those ideas down and allowing yourself to try things and see if they work. So that is a really fun part of the process where it's really starting to come together and you're starting to see those sections of the song and the theme being cohesive and all of that. So you definitely don't want to be critical on yourself during that part of the process. All right, and the last step in the creative process is the editing process, where you do actually allow your inner critic to come out and say what is and isn't working. So it's important for you to be able to turn that on and turn it off. So for this last step, you do want to allow yourself to try to look objectively and honestly at what is and isn't working and be willing to throw stuff out that isn't working and be willing to try something else to see if you can make it work if you know that it isn't working. But you want to try to think about how the song is going to sound to your audience and let that guide you in the process. All right, so along with all those steps in the creative process, my assignment for you today is to think about those steps and which ones you think are most natural for you, which are more difficult for you, and how you could maybe encourage yourself to become more comfortable, to get better at those different steps, and maybe build bridges between this step and that step to just create more of a seamless process where you're aware of, okay, this is how I write a song. I get a concept. I let it kind of brew in my mind and figure things out. And I sit down and I work hard on writing it, but I don't allow myself to be critical. And then at the end, being critical in a good way and trying to create the best song possible and make choices that are going to serve that song. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'm looking forward to the next songwriting snippet. I'm excited about giving you your first songwriting assignment. All right, so I will see you then.